We got like a January 3rd, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, I finished and posted a novel on Amazon called You Can Never Be Big Enough. And it's about me being a teenager in the 1970s in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's largely autobiographical. It's largely about a young man who is remarkably stupid and misguided. A young man who the more and more he tries to develop these big muscles and swagger, the more he reveals that he's lost, he's scared, he's trying to compensate for his lack of connection to the real world with big muscles. And another theme is that he's using bodybuilding as an escape from his responsibilities and his inability to connect with people. And he hangs out with a dude named Falco Lebroni who's in the same boat. And it's largely autobiographical, but ultimately it's a work of fiction. And I'll put the link to the book below. Now the book costs $3, which is a lot of money. Could have actually cost even more, but I kept the price at $3 because some people who go on this YouTube channel, they are saving up for the Rolex Hulk, the Omega Seamaster, and I thought keeping the price at $3 would help those individuals continue to save for those Grail timepieces. And so I wanted to make sure that you understood that. So this book, You Can Never Be Big Enough, is largely autobiographical, but I do want to show you at the end of this presentation how it deviates from autobiography. Number one, it really does show this young man, and the alter ego for me is a young man named Nathan LeBlanc. No, Nathan McGann. I changed the name to Nathan McGann, which is fine. And so Nathan McGann transitions in 1976 from a national champion Olympic weightlifter to bodybuilding. And what happened was, in 1975, around there, my mom, she didn't know the difference between bodybuilding and weightlifting, and she got me a book called Pumping Iron. And, you know, it had all the great bodybuilders in it, Franco Columbu and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Serge Nubret. And I was looking at this and I wanted to be like that. And then my father, he took me to the premiere opening of the movie of that book, Pumping Iron. And when I saw Arnold on the big screen, I was a changed young man. And to me, Arnold looked normal. It was the average man who looked like a tomato with 4 toothpicks sticking out of it. And I know most people thought that Arnold looked like a big cartoon character and he was laughable, but I don't know, to me he looked normal. So I do address that transition in the novel. The second thing I have to address is guilt. I felt so guilty because my weightlifting coach, Lou Crook, he knew that I had left weightlifting to become a bodybuilder, and he sent me this letter. I'll never forget. He goes, #1 in the nation and retiring so soon. And he gave me, you know, all my records and he compared them to everyone. And I don't know, my heart wasn't in it anymore. And so I had to deal with that transition. So the third thing I had to deal with, as I was bodybuilding, my parents divorced. One of the issues of the divorce was a decrease in family income, but that wasn't as tough as the rando dudes, the sketchy dudes showing up at my house to date my mom. And so I was actually working out, pumping up, wearing flannel lumberjack shirts, rolling the sleeves up, having Popeye forearms because I wanted to intimidate the rando dudes. That was a really tough part of my life, and this novel really shows my hostility with these rando dudes, and the hostility is intense, and I captured it in the novel. Another huge theme that I talked about at the beginning of this video is compensation. When you have a low self-esteem, you want to compensate, and your muscles can never be big enough, and this applies to everything in life. Your body can never be perfect enough, you can never have enough money, you can never have the ultimate timepiece. Nothing is perfect enough when you're trying to compensate for low self-esteem. And I really wanted to address that theme head on in this novel. So the other thing I wanted to show you is that I did some stupid stuff in my attempt to compensate for my low self-esteem. I'll give you one example, just one of many stupid things that I do in this novel. My alter ego, Nathan McGann. So I brought the book Pumping Iron to school, to Canyon High School when I was a freshman. And I opened up the book in my English class to this picture, this photograph of Franco Colombo hanging upside down on a chin-up bar. And I showed it to Liz Murphy. And I said, "That guy is me." And she looks at it and she goes, "Oh my God, that's you." And my first thought was, oh yeah, she believes me. This is so cool. She's confused me with Franco Colombo hanging upside down on a chin-up bar at some outdoor gym. And then later on in the day, another thought came upon me. The second thought was, dude, you just lied to someone. That was a pathological, compulsive lie. You can't be doing that. And so I had to really confront that compulsive lying in this book. The other thing I had to confront in this book was unrealistic dreams. You know, I wanted to become a famous bodybuilder, open up a gym in the Bahamas, and just get away from society as I knew it. I just wanted to drink coconut juice and work out on some island. And I remember the librarian at my high school, I was telling her about my dream. She goes, "Mr. McMahon, the chances of you doing that are under 1%. You need practical skills." And of course, when you're a bodybuilder and you're big, you know, you think your superior muscles just make you win the argument. I won the argument. I'm bigger than you, stronger than you. There's no argument here. That's how dumb I was. And then the other thing is I overestimated myself. You know, I wasn't on course to be a great bodybuilder. The people who were really, they were a little older than I was, but there was Rudy Hermosillo, Ron Tufel, and Tom Platz. I wasn't on their level. There was no way. So I had overestimated myself. And but I do want to tell you something about this novel. It is a novel. It's not autobiographical ultimately. Had it been autobiographical from 1976 to 1979, from the age of about 14 to 17, it would have been much darker, because me and Falco Lebroni, we were just becoming more and more self-destructive, more alienated from life. We were more like Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights. See, if you've seen Boogie Nights, Dirk Diggler is a messed up young dude at the beginning of the movie, and there's no character arc in that movie. He just gets worse and worse and worse. It's a process of entropy and disintegration. And had I focused on just those 3 years, the book would have been horribly depressing, honestly. I didn't diverge, my life with Falco Lebroni didn't diverge until I went into college, and that's not even addressed in this novel. But what surprised me about writing this novel is that the focus of it actually is a love story between me and a girl named Liz Murphy. And people are going to think, oh, is Liz Murphy some old flame from high school? And to tell you the truth, Liz Murphy is a composite of about 3 or 4 girls I knew from high school. So I did create her. But I'm glad I had this love story, because it made it a more hopeful novel, more like Groundhog Day, where you have this guy lost in this recurring cycle of his self-destruction, but he gets out of it because of love. I didn't contrive this. It all happened sort of unconsciously. So I will give you guys some adventures from this novel on a few video posts, if there's any interest in it. I do want to make a video about my first date with Liz Murphy, which is 95% true. It is insane. And I'm going to try to give you guys a 10-minute video on my first date. You won't believe, you'll think I made it up, but well, anyways, that'll be my next video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll put the link to this ebook below this post. Tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Probably you'll recognize some of the stories in this novel from some videos I made. And until next time, I'm out.